So here I am back in Washington after my trip to Sedona, Arizona. And what I wanted to do in Sedona was to get a spiritual experience. And I think I did. And I wanted to come out of Sedona completely changed. Don't know if that's happened yet, but here are some chronicles of my visit to Sedona. Now that I'm back in Washington State, I guess my life has been changed. Here's how. So, I don't know what it is about rental car experiences, but they just confuse the hell out of me. And this one was no exception. And I don't know, I was in tears as I was renting this car because I had no idea where to pick it up. And the person at the other end of the counter was just very language differented and was trying to talk me into a different car at the same cost. And then she was scaring me because she said, you're going to need a different car because the roads are really, really, really rough. And I'm just like, what am I getting into here? I felt like Calamity Jane, but I bravely went through it, and I finally got into my car, and I noticed that the charge on my phone was really low. And you kind of need your phone for your GPS and all that other stuff to get where you're going. And so I found my car and I couldn't find the USB in the car to charge my phone. And I just said, wow. I did start crying. So I went into the whole trip very emotional. And then it was a 2.5 hour drive from Phoenix Airport to Sedona. I will never fly into Phoenix. If I'm going to Sedona again, I will fly into Flagstaff. That's a lot closer, and I didn't know that before I went in. Anyways, so I finally got to the hotel, and I was so hungry, and I called my husband to tell him that I was there and I was safe. And I said, I am so hungry. And it was about 8 o'clock at night, and all the places to eat food were closed, except for this restaurant that was right across the street. So it closed at 8:30. So I thought, hey, if I jump over there really quick, I'll be able to get, something to eat. And it ended up being that they stopped seating at 8:30. So I was able to get some food, able to meet some friends. Part of what was cool about this experience was the bartender and this girl next to me, they seemed to have like this telepathic connection. And at the end, she was going to be paying with a credit card, and he put his fingers out like this, like goalpost, and she like tried to flick her credit card through his hand. She tried like about 3 or 4 times, and she finally said, too much margaritas, and she ended up handing him the credit card. But when it was my time to pay, I did this with my hands, and he goes, oh, you want to play that game, do you? And I said, sure. And I had my credit card and I flicked it right through. So cool. And then, oh my gosh. So here's me running across the street to my hotel because I really wanted to give, it's not a hotel actually. So here's a clip of me running across the street to the inn that I was staying at. And I was intending to do a hotel tour like Land Speculation does. And yet, apparently, when I came back and reviewed my film footage, I had turned off my camera somewhere. So you caught me walking across the street, and that's what I did. Actually, I kind of pranced across the street, if you want to be honest. And yeah, as soon as I got to the inn and the door that was locked, it was a whole fiasco because they were already closed by the time I got there. So there was this little mailbox entryway that I had my key in. They had put the key in there, and I thought, wow, anybody from off the street who knew this place could probably just take that key and go upstairs. It accessed the door, the front door, and then also my room, which was number 9. And so here are some pictures from the room that you can see, but unfortunately, sadly, I was not able to do a full hotel view, and because I lost my footage or I turned off my camera. I don't know what. I was really tired that day. I will have to say that there was no dust. There was a Gideon's Bible. The 2 chairs that you'll see by the fireplace were swiveling 360, and I had a jetted jacuzzi tub, and I used it pretty much every night. It was so great. Everything else was in perfect condition, and I didn't have them clean the room at all because I was just going to be there for 4 days. and it's just me in the room, so there wasn't a whole lot of garbage. So do not disturb, do not disturb. It was a great place to stay, the inn above Oak Creek. And here are some of the adventures I had at the inn. I am no land speculation, but this is my hotel right across the street from this really super cool, like, hillside diner. It has the Javelin restaurant in it, and I just had this awesome quesadilla, and I've got my little takeout box here. But so the first day there was my Friday, and I thought, gosh, what am I going to do? I'd like to explore Sedona, of course, but what am I going to do at night? Well, I found that there was this jazz concert that was going to be happening, and here is the announcement for the jazz concert. And it was so cool because this guy was playing on a label called Concord Jazz, Concord, California, where I'm from. And also he originated from Detroit, where my husband was born and raised. And so I thought, wow, what a great opportunity to hang out with a musician and his trio. And they had a guest that was playing with them as well. And I can link to their websites in the description for this video. But yeah, that first night I traipsed around all the shopping galleries, which I'll show you, and I also saw a jazz concert. So let's just look at that.
The ones that I wrote a long time ago, it's called Loving It All, and it really is about us all coming together and appreciating life at a deeper level. This is what.
And so that was my Friday. And it's so cool because although I did get lost in the parking lot getting back to my car, I really enjoyed that fact that I was in bed every night, like at 9 o'clock at night, 9, 10 o'clock at the latest. I really think that I need to be getting to bed earlier. And it was great because I got tons of sleep and tons of relaxation. It was great, and the room was wonderful. And I got to see and hear some wonderful musicians play.